Hey, what's up, Kings? So I promised that I wouldn't go back into this woman's content, but she just proves irresistible. This person right here, the non-monogamous Cougar, kind of nihilistic, cynical type personality, but she just provides an endless source of entertainment for us. So I wanted to get a little bit grounded on one of the videos that she has here talking about focused on the sisterhood. That's where I kind of want to this whole hive mind collectivist mentality among women where they kind of support each other and deviations from that groupthink are not really permitted and are often ostracized. So let's get into it.
There is a really interesting comment that I think points out a bigger issue about men not supporting other men. Now, in this comment, he is saying that men don't support one another's BS. And the irony is that he also continues to insult my intelligence, calling me simple several times, which I think is also part of a man's BS. You got to enjoy that, the rhetorical value of his argument. I think he is pointing out something, a legitimate issue, illegitimately. Men, I think, don't support men to the same extent that women do. I think a lot of women, especially now, are understanding that we are a sisterhood that is in this fight together for each other. And I don't know that men necessarily share that same brotherhood as a whole. I think we see that in pockets, but there isn't that fierceness around it. So I would love to hear from other men on the support they receive from their dude friends, their buddies, their bros, and do they feel like it is enough? Do they feel like women get more support from one another?
All right, lots to unpack here. She's right and she's wrong at the same time. She's right that women support each other. But by support, I don't think she's really being intellectually honest. I think that word is kind of thrown around a lot, and it's overloaded in a sense. It's actually, it's just kind of untruthful. Let me get into what I mean by that. My male friends, and I think this is true with healthy male friendship, not the ones that like, oh, everything's gay and emotional intelligence is gay and this is gay and that the red pill Kool-Aid bullshit. But what I'm talking about is like bonding between men. Men who aren't afraid to like do quick hugs and other things like that. Things that are that bring us closer together as men. We're not gay. We're straight men, but we don't like fear our bonding with other men. But here's the thing. Good friendships between men, we call each other out on BS. Meaning, if I gained 20 or 30 pounds, I'm not expecting my male friend to say, oh, you're wonderful just the way you are, and women should just accept you, and you go, king. No, we're going to hold each other accountable for our missteps, our F-ups. If we have a financial screw-up, we lost a lot of money on a stupid investment, we're going to call each other a dumbass. We're not going to sit there and kind of say like, oh, what we may say, we may turn it positive and say like, hey, look, man, you made a huge mistake investing in, this new cryptocurrency or NFTs, and then you lost a lot of money. But just, way I would do it next time is look into more conservative investments, more dividend-based investments, value, deep value, whatever. It doesn't matter the exact example, but the point is the misstep is called out, but we support each other in finding a solution to the problem. We don't just sit there and kind of give each other a circle jerk on that we're just awesome the way we are. No, we're broke. We lost a lot of money on something, or we gained a lot of money, a lot of weight, and we're a fat ass now, or we let ourselves go. We're weaker after an injury. We never went back to the gym. These kinds of phenomenon that these kinds of setbacks that occur in our lives. We're just not going to kind of sugarcoat and blow sunshine up each other's asses. So that's the problem with women do, and it's even more nefarious than that. I'll link to a video that Homath talks about. Like his channel is pretty awesome. You got to definitely take a look at it. Subscribe. Great guy. Don't agree with everything, but I think 95% of what he says is spot on. Talks about women and their kind of faux sisterhood, where everybody's a 10, you're a 10, I'm a 10, everybody's perfect. All of us girls are perfect, and we're part of one groupthink circle jerk. That's true whether the woman's obese or whatever. And a lot of that comes from, say, a gorgeous woman doesn't feel threatened by a fat woman. So she'll say that she's a 10. You're awesome just the way you are, and you should accept nothing less than a guy with a six-pack and six figures and whatever, some delusional dream of a man. She knows she's not going, this fat woman's not going to get it. But she wants to blow sunshine up her ass, basically, and let her know that, she's just awesome the way she is. But if that woman matches her on a looks level, or better yet, if, an anecdotal example, my wife being around mostly American women, call them WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, right? The typical toxic, feminist, upper middle income in a lot of cases, woman that, just has a very like boss babe attitude. They don't say it to her face, but they have an obvious contempt for her. They see her as settling with me, even though most people, especially like overseas, finds us equally yoked. We're basically as attractive as each other, but in like an American woman's eyes, she's way above me. So therefore she should get some young stud who's like 20 years younger than her and ride the carousel. Obviously she's not going to do that. She knows very well, and she's been conditioned, let's say, but positively conditioned to know that these women are miserable into their 50s, and then they end up dying alone with cats and boxed wine. So she knows very well to avoid that kind of toxic attitude. But the point is that they look down upon her because she's competition. She's stealing the men that they want and that they could get. Now, I'm not saying that I'm in competition with, say, a gorgeous American woman. I'm just saying that I might be her plan B, when she's done, riding the carousel, so to speak, and she's ready to settle down. She'll go for a guy like me. The guy, okay, who's like average or slightly above average looking, and is fit, and I don't know, he's good enough. He's good enough for her. He's not like too far down, but he's not the Chad that she's been effing around with for 20 years, 30 years, or whatever. She'll settle for him. She'll settle for me. That was one of the reasons why I went overseas, so I didn't sidestep that kind of condition. But the point is that these women will see women who are not threatened to them as 10s. Everyone's perfect, and that's the faux sisterhood I'm talking about. So what this woman is saying is that, yes, there's a sisterhood, but it's a false sisterhood. It's not, there will be some emotional support in when it comes, anything that has to do with not competing for resources. I think human nature, especially women, they are seeking to acquire resources, monetarily, looks, whatever. They're seeking resources from a man in some capacity, whatever that is at that moment in time in their life. Those women could either be not a threat or a threat to that. And if they're a threat to that, they may publicly support them, but in private they'll speak behind their backs. They'll try to trash their reputation. They'll try to do anything to kind of make sure that they're no longer a threat. And then when they're no longer a threat, then, oh, you're a 10, sister. You're awesome. Any man would be lucky to have you. So this is the difference. Like, men don't really do this, but maybe men with like low T and like high estrogen levels who are kind of feminized, maybe they do this. They talk about, oh, talk out your feelings out. You can cry to me, therapy, blah, blah, blah. And men do cry to each other, and it's nothing wrong with that. Like, proper crying, if you will, but like, bawling for another, around another man. I don't know about that. Maybe just kind of do that in private. But it's okay to share your feelings with your male friends and kind of, go deep on that. You don't want to be always surface level with your male friends. But our brotherhood is based in reality, not in this sort of superficial, you go girl, and assessing whether there's a threat to where they're at. Yes, we do compete with each other for the same women, for the same groups of women. So there is a social hierarchy, but we don't hide it. We assert our dominance amongst one another. But I like to think of it like there's plenty of resources to go around. There's plenty of women, especially if you go overseas. There's lots of women, for us to share. There's no need for us to, compete, 5 men to compete over 1 woman. That's something that might be done like in the U.S. now, but you don't have to do that as much if you go overseas to get your bag, so to speak. And by that I mean, have a fulfilling relationship, not the way that women say it. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts and make sure that we have a clear understanding as to why brotherhood may be lacking, and or from a woman's perspective, like why there's such a strong sisterhood. That it's just a groupthink. It's not really as strong as people think, and it's certainly detrimental because some women will try to convince other women that you can do better, girl, you can leave your husband, you can find somebody 10 years younger than you, and so on and so forth. And I'm wondering whether this woman has fallen into that trap and she refuses to admit it. She's kind of in like a spiral now where she's just, getting dicked down by a lot younger men, probably just a pump and dump many times. And, she's kind of coping with it. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. I'll just find another man. And then going into this whole non-monogamy shtick, I think again that's just because she can't get monogamy, so she's kind of coping by saying, "Well, I guess I'm just going to be non-monogamous." So it's entertaining. I think she's an entertaining channel to listen to, but come back to my channel once in a while, and then you might get like some reactions to some. I'm not going to react to everything she writes, or she all the content that she makes, but I will on the more entertaining ones and the ones that deserve a response. Anyway, that's it. Take care, Kings.